watch the debate and if you watch the articulation, I mean, he was the best candidate in terms of articulating because he has been working in and out. He had the advantage of, the backroom deals and understanding and also the longevity. Remember, I mean, he's not the first foreign affairs minister that will be the head of the African Union Commission. But what sets him apart is that he is one of the longest serving foreign affairs ministers we have on this continent. And that has given him that added advantage to understand the ins and outs of the organization and to understand who to talk to and what buttons to press. So that anonymity that many people thought was his disadvantage was actually his advantage. So while the rest were, campaigning and moving from one region, one capital to another, he was actually knocking on the right doors. Now, the commission, the African Union Commission, is known as the engine room. This is where you have all the administrative activities of the organization. The powers of the African Union Commission could actually be divided into two. They can initiate policies, and they are supposed to be the implementing arm of the union. The AU is also now part of the G20. So, and part of the arrangement of the AU is to also include the chairperson. So it's a very, very, very important and influential position. Insecurity, growing levels of insecurity on this continent, significant external interference in parts of the continent, the wave of coups across the continent, democratic backsliding. These are critical challenges, and also how to also move the AU reforms forward. And also the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is this. Member states have very little appetite of transferring powers to the Commission. That's the elephant in the room. And one of the key reasons why the organization is underperforming is the fact that you cannot call an institution or an organ the engine room and not give it the necessary resources. And of course, he also needs to. So it's one thing to talk about transferring powers, right? It is another thing to talk about the dysfunctionality of the commission itself. People are not put in the right positions. There have been reports of mismanagement of funds, and these are some of the issues that he will need to face, because you cannot, no matter if you want to transfer powers to an institution, the internal dynamics, the organizational efficiency has to be addressed first. I call it the 3 C's: competition, coordination, and competence. Anything one expects from the AU Commission chair actually stands on these 3 C's, right? Understanding the competition and being able to use that competition, that global competition, to Africa's advantage. Effective coordination so that Africa speaks with one voice on global platforms and deals with issues effectively and efficiently internally, right? And the competence to be able to address its own issues, institutional competence to be able to fund itself, competence to deal with democratic backsliding, to deal with growing insecurity on the continent. And in fact, with this competence, I should add, the part about competence also speaks to the chair paying serious attention to what I said earlier about, having an effective bureaucracy with, understanding the internal dynamics, even within the commission itself, making it more professional, making it more agile, and making it more efficient in responding to many of the issues and challenges around the continent.